Hello and welcome to Martin Lucas Investors channel. My name is Sensei Crypto and today we're going to be doing the Sunday show, the Sunday live stream, Cash in the Attic, whatever you like to call it. We're here today to discuss the crypto market, the broader stock market, individual stocks such as SPCE, Tilray, Plug, SoFi, CrowdStrike, whatever you guys like to have a look at. Please do let me know what your suggestions are in the comments, or later on, if you're watching this later on, you can do it in the comment section below and I can cover your stocks for next week's show. There will be timestamps. I apologize, I forgot to do that last week, but there will be timestamps for this week's show, so you can skip through and watch your favorite stock, or you can watch the whole live stream. But thank you for everyone who's here live. If you aren't watching live, then do consider joining us every Sunday at 9 p.m. UK time. I'm not sure what that is in your time zone, but you can always see what that is in your time zone. Anyway, let's get straight into the show. We do have a lot to discuss. We'll be looking at the Fed meeting, which is happening, I think, in a few days' time. And then also looking at SPC, because I think that might be ready to take off. So let's get straight into it. Who do we have here? We've got Martyn here, we've got Development Alert, and Vaz is here as well. Welcome in, everyone. So let's have a look at a 3 p.m. CT. That's the time we do this show. 3 p.m. Central Time is another time zone for you all. I know we have a lot of American viewers in that time zone. So that is the time we are live every single Sunday. So welcome in, everyone. If you are just tuning in, please do hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. It's Wednesday, the Fed meeting, so in basically 2.5 days, but yeah, in 3 days' time is the Fed meeting. Will there be an interest rate cut? I don't think so. We'll see what the market thinks, but we're going to be covering that live on the show, so please join us for that as well. SPCE up 10% on Friday. We'll get more into the charts, but it looks like it's on the verge of some sort of breakout, maybe a bottoming structure. It's looking good on SPCE. And then we have MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's company holding Bitcoin. That is up 9%. I did see that Donald Trump attended the Bitcoin conference and basically changed his stance on crypto, and he's very, very bullish on it. I know the independent candidate said something like if he gets in, he'll be buying nearly $1 billion worth of Bitcoin for the treasury, something like that, 750 million. So it is looking like Trump will win, so that might be good for crypto and the markets, but you never know. Let's continue. We've got DXYZ, which again was a great stock to begin with, but then they had troubles. They're no longer trading on Robinhood, I believe, in the UK. So something's gone wrong with the company, but that is showing a sort of a bottoming out structure. It can go all the way back down to the IPO price. Do be careful. SoundHound AI, it's in its buy zone. It is looking good. It is showing higher lows. More people are buying this. This is the previous buy zone we were speaking about when we were at the height of $10, where I was selling around $8.72, went all the way up to $10. I was waiting for this retest of this main structure here. Remember, this whole area here between May of 2022 and the breakout of February of 2024 was an accumulation structure. Broke out to the upside, we never got a retest. That's why it came back down to around $4, and now it's consolidating sideways and upwards, showing strength, ready to for another move upwards, hopefully taking out that upwards resistance line we start seeing here about $7, and going back and trying to get back above $8.72. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, SoundHound AI is in a buy zone, or just come out the buy zone. The buy zone was there in this big area. It was a big buy zone area for a long-term trade, not a short-term trade. And it's looking like it's breaking out to the upside now. IBIT had a positive Friday. Remember, I said Trump went to that Bitcoin conference and was very bullish on crypto, and Bitcoin reacted well. And we're looking to see if we get a breakout for Bitcoin to head up to maybe $80,000 this year. Coinbase reacted nicely to the news as well, up 5%. Let me just show you this trade we had on Coinbase. You can go back to some very early videos back in June of 2023 where we were talking about this exact trade here. Caught it on the up break of upward downwards trend. Remember, when I draw my trend lines, they aren't random. They are a change of trend. The trend was to the downside. It broke that downwards trend. The trade was taken at $61. I remember Martyn actually owned some shares around $40 back when he was trading individual shares, but we got another entry point at $60. Um, and that's another point. Don't be afraid to buy on the way up. If the company's making money, if the company is this, I'm echoing what Martyn says. Again, Coinbase obviously much more risky than some stocks like Apple or Microsoft. However, the same does apply. If you want a bit more risk, you still have to look at the company. Is the company going to be around in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Is the company making profit? Does the company have, are you investing in the stock price of the company? We were investing in the company back here at $35. Where was the next buy zone? $62, nearly double the price. But it's better to sometimes better to buy on the way up. It doesn't matter if you're paying double what you previously paid. You don't need to keep your averages low. You don't need to match your previous average price. It might never come back down to that average price, and it hasn't for Coinbase. Bought at about $35. Next buy zone was at $61. And that went all the way up to $115, came back for the test, and now it went to the next target of that trade. Remember, that trade had one target at $81, which was a nice 70% move up, and the next target was about $200. So that's about a 3x from where it was, more than a 3x. And now it's continuing further up. It's at $242, where our buys were at $35, and recorded on the channel, the next buy was at $61. Buying to the upside, you won't be you won't be worried if your buys were at $30, $40, or at $63. They're both great buys at the price we're at now at $242. Where do I think it's going next? Continue to consolidate as long as it doesn't drop back below $210. I think the next target for Coinbase is $352. Remember, Coinbase is a great way to be exposed to the cryptocurrency market without owning individual crypto coins. Some people like to do it that way. It's a very sensible way of doing it, much lower risk way of exposing yourself to the crypto market. You don't have the time to pick out the individual coins, then Coinbase is exposing you to the crypto markets. Next, we have Etsy. Welcome in, everyone. Please do hit that like button. We've got 18 people watching. If we can get up the likes, that would be great. Thank you, Development Alert, for suggesting that in the comments. Etsy has been in a downtrend. We do have some support around the levels we are currently. Whether or not we hold them is another question, but for the first time in a while, we have hit the support zone a couple of times and bounced. The first time we did bounce around 126%. The next time we bounced around 51%. Are we going to get a bounce this time, or are we going to go lower? It's hard to say. What do I think? I think there's not enough indicators for me to say that this is a great buy zone. If I was thinking about buying Etsy, then I wouldn't deploy all my cash here. I might use 10-20% of my funds allocated to Etsy to buy at this position here. Next, we've got Rocket Lab. Remember, again, you see the support level. There was a chance that I was going to break down to the downside. However, it stayed at this support level. We were talking about it around 367. It was still a support level. It was still a buy zone. Then you see the downwards trend line. The trend was to the downside. It broke that downwards trend line, meaning the trend is now to the upside. And the trade was from about just around $4, and now it's at $5.40. What do you want to see next on Rocket Lab to make sure it continues the trend to the upside? Is this high, this level over here, the previous high of around $6.20. That will be the next resistance, and the next level we have to break to continue this upside. potential. So it is around sales at levels, it is around resistance, but if it can continue as long as it's and doesn't get rejected from the 620 level and continues up and retests and continues higher, the next target will be around $8 for Rocket Lab. I wouldn't be buying it now, however, if I'm in the trade. Might be an area to take slight profits, but to continue holding to see how it reacts at the next resistance. Tilray Brands, how's that been performing? We caught the trade on Camilla's announcement that she is the nominee or running for president. That did send the stock. It was, where was it? Yes, it did send the stock to the price we suggested, 195. However, it didn't continue to the upside, so we're still waiting to see how it reacts at that resistance level at 195. Is it going to continue going to the resistance and break it, or is it going to go to the next support level at 171? It is hard to tell. However, news-based, it did hit 195, a level to sell and see how it reacts at that level, but it did get rejected. So we'll have to wait and see. In the middle of no man's land, it's either 195 or 171 are the next levels of buying and selling. Martyn has just done a poll. Are you bullish or bearish in crypto? Bullish. Bullish, crypto, or undecided? Martyn, I think you slightly. Oh, are you bullish or bearish in crypto? Bullish, crypto, undecided. Bullish, crypto, undecided. I'm not sure what that means exactly. I think it meant to say bullish, bearish, or undecided. We'll wait and see what Martyn says about that. Maybe I'm got something wrong. Meta. Again, Meta. It's too high for me to buy. You'd rather buy it in an ETF such as the S&P 500 at these levels. Yeah, it's not an area I see too much value for Meta. Yeah, for stocks like Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, maybe Tesla, there's two ways you can do it. You can either cost average every single day, every single week, dollar cost average. That's one option. The next option is trying to buy every sort of little dip. The next option is wait, there's always crashes in the market, whether it's 30, 40, 20%. You set yourself a target every time it drops 10%, or every time it drops 20%, or every time there's a lot of fear in the market, it drops 30%, then that's when you buy the stock. So for me, I wouldn't want to be, I'm not a trader to be cost averaging every day. I like to buy at better buy zones. And I wouldn't be buying it now, but if you are dollar cost averaging every week, then that's a different strategy that I don't personally use. So Meta right now doesn't look like it's in a buy zone for me. Here we go. We've got the updated vote. Are you bullish or bearish on crypto? Bullish, bearish, undecided. I will go bullish. We've got 40% bullish, 20%. Okay. Oh, it's changing. I'll get back to that in a second. Palantir Technologies. Buy level, buy level, buy level, buy level, and now where are we? We're at a sort of resistance level now. We'll see how we react. No trade to be taken at this moment in time. It could continue going up. It probably will. This trend is very much the upside, and it's building slowly, which is nice to see. It is a little bit high on the RSI. And you do have bearish divergence going on. You've got new highs, but the RSI is forming lower lows, so I'd be careful. We are at a resistance level. Might consider selling some positions here, so I will mark that, and we can have a look in the future and see if this was an area to sell. Right now, I would be slightly wary of this stock. We are at resistance for Palantir. A little bit of resistance, so back to Palantir, a little bit of resistance in this area here, but also that is triple bearish divergence. You've got higher highs but lower lows on the RSI, so that is a cause for concern. Next, we've got Pfizer. Buy zone, remember someone suggested this. Let me know if you're in the chat who suggested to look at Pfizer. We did a full review. Martyn did a full review for you, and I did the chart review. We're at a buy zone, $25. Now it's at $30, heading for the next resistance at $35. So congratulations for everyone who took that trade. PayPal, middle of no man's land. Next buy level 42, next sales level at 76. Luna. We covered this on the moon. Now it's at resistance level at 441. If it breaks through resistance, $6.56. If it doesn't break through, then it can go all the way back down to 267. So if I was in the stock and I've got a lower buy price, what would I do? I'd sell a bit right now and wait and see what reacts. If it breaks out, there's two ways it can go. And I'll keep reiterating so you can understand how I trade off charts. You're at a resistance level. What do you do? If it breaks through the resistance, you can go to 656. If it doesn't break through the resistance, you can go to 270. If I've got a average price of maybe something like $3.50, I've made some nice profit. $3.50 was around here. Made 25%. What do I want to do? I don't want to lose all that profit. I'll sell some. I'll sell some because we're at resistance. Forward 41. I'd sell maybe 25, 30, 25 to 35% of my shares. And then and with that money, I'd set up a buy price between 275 and 327. That same money, I can buy lots more shares down here. So I'd set a buy level. If it does break out, I wouldn't buy any more at 534. But if it comes in for a retest of 441, I might change some of those buy limit orders there and buy my shares back at the same price I sold them for, maybe a couple cents above, because the charts have changed. No longer are you at resistance, you've actually broken resistance. You're coming to test the resistance as support, meaning you're more likely to be heading to the next resistance level. So I don't mind paying a couple cents more for those shares because the charts are more bullish than when they were when I sold the shares. And then you'd do the same at 656. You'd sell some of your shares, put your limit orders back at 441. And if it does come back down, you've bought more shares and you can evaluate and see if you're going to go back up. So you just have to be aware. It doesn't matter if you sell it and buy back a couple shares, a couple cents higher. The charts have changed. The macroeconomic conditions might have changed. So you can change along with them. The Russell 2000. Please do hit the like button if you've come in. I see we've got now 20 viewers, so thank you for tuning in. If you do want to stop me, if you do a super chat, then I can go straight to your stock. We'll be covering all these stocks and all the cryptos in the meantime. Russell 2000, look at that, performing very well. The small caps are performing very well. You see the accumulation going on here, right at that support level. Remember, these support levels I draw from before, they're not random, and they do work definitely over 50% of the time, and that's all we need to win. As long as you actually only need the support levels to your trades to work 20% of the time if you trade smart, because you have a tight stop loss and your gain and your take profits are much higher than that tight stop loss. So you can lose about 10 trades and win about 3, and you're in profit because you let your winners run and you let your losers not lose too much. But even with just normal trend lines, you can see that they have been very effective. And with the Russell 2000, bounced off the trend line that was previously resistance, turned into support, heading back higher, and now you're sort of looking at this main all-time high zone of 2005, nearly 2,500, and also there is a lot of trading that went on in this whole zone here. So right now it seems to be very bullish. Candles are very green, no resistance yet, but be wary that a lot of trading has taken place here, so people might be willing to sell their shares around here as well. But it's looking good, looking very strong. 3 times hit the support, heading up quite quickly. RSI is getting overbought. but it just shows the bullish momentum is there on the Russell 2000, which is good for something like SPCE, which we'll get onto. I think that's a great. I think it could be bottoming out. Microsoft, again, with it, you can see the S&P dropped. The big market cap stocks also dropped. Microsoft is dropping. Where can Microsoft go? Again, it's just not somewhere I'd like to be buying. If you're dollar cost averaging, then it makes sense. If you're trying to look for a good value, obviously Microsoft, Apple are trading above value. Their PE ratios. Let me see if I can see the PE ratio here. No, but I imagine that they're quite high, but that's normal. What I like to do is buy abnormal where the crashes are. So for my personal strategy, I don't like DCAing too much. I prefer having the cash on the side, and if and when a crash comes, um, I prefer to buy these big stocks at those levels. But right now, for me, it doesn't show too much value. Maybe Microsoft will 2x over the next 5 years, but rather 2x over the next 2 years. And the way that you can make sure your stocks do that is if you wait for a crash. But everyone has their own strategy. Um, uh, and let's continue. And it's also not only about the strategy; it's also about what you can handle. Can you handle trading a lot? Can you control your emotions, or is it better for you to just automatically set up those direct debits into your trading account straight into the S&P or straight into your specific stocks that you want to buy? Here we have Alibaba. Again, this is a company that should be valued more than 160 billion. This is a company, for example, that has a P ratio of a lot lower. Let's see if we can find the P ratio of. Let me see if I can bring it up. Where can I see it? Maybe if we go onto Robinhood. P ratio 17.38. I assume Microsoft is higher than that. Yeah, 36. Microsoft is at. Apple is at maybe a bit lower. 33. Yeah. Nvidia's at 66. Tesla's at 61. But as you saw, something like Bubba, which is a massive company, is at 17, which is much more tempting than the other PE ratios I just showed you. So I think that's a good buy at the moment. Coca-Cola, what's its PE ratio? 27, and that's been on an amazing rally. Look at that, all-time highs. Martyn used to be big on this stock. You can see it's a couple cents away from all-time highs. $67. Like the buy zones don't lie. If you go back in the videos, I didn't put this in after. This was a nice buy zone at $53. And now first it was a buy zone, next you can see the trend line down, the change of trend, and now it looks like it's going for all-time highs. It's a couple cents away, so that's almost guaranteed. And then you're looking at a target of maybe $76 for Coca-Cola. They must have had a good earnings. Hello, James. Welcome in. Chris Park, if you want me to look at Sologenic, if you become a member or if you do a super chat, I can have a look at that for you straight away. Let's continue through the stocks. Amazon, if you've got something on my watch list that's not on your watch list, that not a random small cap stock, if it's something that you think would be of everyone's interest, then let me know. I can always add it onto my watch list. Or if there's a stock on my watch list that you think, why am I covering that? Let me know and I can get rid of it as well. Amazon capitulated down, went to a buy zone at about $81. Previous support, and now it went up to all-time highs with the tech crashes coming down too. So I'll be very careful of Amazon. I think you'll probably be able to buy it back up at $145. We're not going to look at the Euro 50. That's trending upwards. Maybe a bull flag forming on the Euro 50 back higher. ARK Invest, that's been slowly coming up recently. It's not at any buy zone, but you've got sort of a trend to the upside. So not at a buy zone, but if you're holding it, looks like it might have bottomed out. Look at that! Look at that chart there. It's ARK Invest. Before 2020, it was nothing, and then it suddenly popped up. Everyone loved Cappy Word, and everyone sold it off straight back down. It does look like this area here is very much the floor. So if it does break below, then we're in for trouble. But I think it's going to slowly start growing up from here. Dollar Tree, someone requested this. Yeah, not looking good. So yeah, not looking good. Middle of no man's land. Maybe it goes all the way down to $60. That would be a big crash, but before that, it might find support at somewhere like, yeah, here, $83. S&P 500, a big one. Remember we said it was sort of overbought. It was not an area to be buying. I'll go back to this parallel channel to reiterate my point. Downwards trend, bear market. Bear market finished off. You can see the bottoming out structure with the with these blue, don't know what to call them, curves. Bottoming out structure broke the trend was to the downside, broke that trend, and ever since we've been in this nice parallel channel upwards. It was the uptrend was being formed at the bottom of the trend. Oh, here we go.
Vaz donated £4.99 through a super chat. Could you have a look at Vertical Aerospace EVTL, please? They just started piloted test flights, tethered for now. There is a lot of resistance at $1.
Amazing. Thank you, Vaz. Very, very kind. We'll definitely have a look at that. Let me just finish off the S. If it was any other stock, I would go straight to it, but the S&P 500 is a big stock. I hope you don't mind. Let's finish that and we'll go straight to your suggestion. Actually, let's do that. Let's do it. I said it, I'll do it. Let's do yours and we'll get back to S&P 500. EVTL. Oh, EVTL. Wow. It's exactly at $1. No, not at $1. That's crazy. 1.0000. And the stock IPO'd at about $9, went all the way up to $18, crashed all the way down to $2.82, went all the way back up to $11, and ever since $11, it's been on a quite a steep path. Went all the way down to 50 cents. Now it's at $1. That says no, finish Martyn stock. No, we'll go back to Martyn stock. We'd have to look at the VU actually, but they're practically the exact same thing, so it doesn't really matter. EV. Okay, so yeah, $1. You're completely correct. $1 is a resistance. Why? Because it was support before. Went all the way, went down to $1, and then it went up to one. It went up 83%. Went to 183. Welcome in MSK. So why is it resistance? It's because it was support before. Support went all the way up to 186, then crashed. Tried to hold support at $1, didn't. Went all the way down to 49 cents. Went up to 129. Support at $1. Went back up to 20% off the $1. Then it's went pretty sideways for a good couple weeks. And now it's trying to go back higher. So what's the good news? What's the bad news? The good news is you're trending to the upside. There's higher lows. Bad news is the $1 resistance you're talking about. It is quite strong. What's the other bad news? You've got this trend to the downside. A massive trend to the downside. Remember, this trend to the downside is putting weight on the stock down. And then you've got this shorter term trend to the downside, but it looks like it's broken out of that. Look at that trend to the downside. Let's see if we can get that apart. something like that. But you've finally broken out of that downtrend, so very interesting. RSI is coming to the oversold area. What's the MACD saying? Trending upwards, which is good. Let's go to the weekly. Okay. Go to the 4 hours. Okay, so it's an interesting one because you have broken out of a downtrend. You do have this uptrend forming. You've just broken out of resistance, but then you've got your main resistance of $1. So you have to really play this by what happens next week. What happens to this $1? Are we want a daily close like this? This was quite bearish. You went all the way above it, and then you couldn't finish the day above the $1 level. You actually finished the day at 96 cents. Friday, you didn't finish the day above $1. You finished at $1, so you finished at the resistance. What you want to see is at close of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of these days, you want to see the close price of EVTL at above $1. So you want to see the price be above $1, and then that's your breakout. That's the area where you break out, and then what do you do at breakout? You set up your limit orders to sell the stock. Is this at a buy zone? No, not really. Vaz, do you hold this stock? What's the average price, or are you looking to buy it? Let me know. If you break out of the $1, then you start setting up your limit orders to sell at 130, 180, probably something like 230. That's if you break $1. And what you want to see for it to break $1 is obviously close of day above $1. You might go to 129 straight away, come back down to $1 test. You want to really test the support at $1, just like you have before. You tested it and you've come back up. Instead, let me show you exactly what I mean. You had the same situation over here. You're below $1, and $1 was your resistance. What happened here is you broke above. Your first try you didn't break above, just like here. The first try you didn't break above. Your next try the next day on a Monday, so this is exactly the same. This was, yeah, maybe not exactly the same, but this was Friday. Yeah, that is exactly the same. So Friday, 26th of July is the same as Friday, the 22nd of July. Monday, what happened is the stock went above $1 and stayed there. It closed above $1, so that was a good sign. What happened next? It continued going up, which is a good sign, good sign, good sign. Went up to your first sell level, 129, or was that sell level there? Yeah, it was a downward sloping resistance. So about 129, went to your first sell level. And then what happened? What you sort of want to see happen, coming back down to that $1 and testing it as support. So then you've got your next entry. If you missed your last entry, you can buy in here at $1 again. You bought in at $1, the next day it went up about 20%, which is great. You go up 20% a day, you want to sell. If you don't sell, then you see it come back up. It's come back to $1. Why has it come back down to $1? You don't need to test the support twice. And then it broke below $1. So when it breaks below $1 and the day finishes below $1 at 92 cents, you've broken trend. You're back on the downside. That is your stop loss will go off because you've broken the trend, and then you go back down. So that's one way it can play out. It can play out the exact same way. So look at the past to predict the future. That can happen again. What could happen instead is when it comes back down to support on $1, it can go back up to 29 cents, have a little bit of a pullback, not come all the way back down to $1, and then break up. And then it can continue this trend to the upside. So this has happened on the stock before on a Friday, so be careful. Don't be caught out by the exact same pattern. I'm going to draw it to your attention. That's the exact same thing going on a few months ago. So it's happened before. Don't be caught out again. Even if it breaks to the upside, it can come all the way back down. to have some fail safes in effect that this can happen again. Instead, what you want to see it happen is when it comes down for that support of the $1, you want to see it continue to trend up, not trend down. I just wanted to bring that to your attention because that is something that can realistically happen and what you want to see if you want to continue being bullish. It's my favorite Volt company. I'm bullish vertical space. So you're probably looking at it long term. So what you want to probably see is buy levels. So to be bullish, you want it to see it above $1, come back down to $1. That's your first buy level. Your next buy level, it can always go back down. So if it goes back down, what level are you trying to buy it at? Maybe 73 cents. In terms of just long-term stock, it does seem to be leveling out, accumulating. It might take a while for it to hit all of these these sell points at 130, 180, 232. But even if you're bullish on a stock long term, there is no problem writing down these levels or coming up to your own conclusion on levels, selling stuff and putting that money into a pot for EVTL to buy on the levels you want to accumulate more stock. So you sell a bit at 129, sell a bit at 179, sell a bit at 232, and maybe in 6 months' time there's a crash and you might be able to buy it back at $1, for example. Nothing wrong with taking profits. Again, I'm not giving financial advice, but be careful. This is a very risky company. Market cap is 200 million. It has been in a downtrend for a while. $1 is a key resistance. See how it plays out this week. But it does look promising. There is we're not in a downtrend on the short term anymore. So as long as this $1 level breaks and we continue putting in higher highs and lower highs, then it's good to continue being bullish on the stock. Once it breaks $1, you want to see it break 129, and that's your first major signal that you're breaking a more of a long-term, medium-term trend. Ask me about the stock next week or in a couple of weeks, and I'll have a look at it again. Don't need to super chat. We've already looked at the stock. I just want to see if the bullish momentum is continuing. It's a tricky stock right at resistance. Unfortunately, it's not a buy right now, but we'll see how it goes. Back to the S&P 500, and let's go through that. That pull up over $1 was based on good news, and there was no further catalyst. Oh, back then, yeah, yeah. So if there was no further catalyst, and it was mixed with buyers not buying in, so you have to be very careful that the same thing doesn't happen again. Let's have a look at your comments. Good evening, everyone. I will. Les, when you're what's James up to? I've decided this weekend I'm going to start a little YouTube channel. I will tell you more about it this week. Oh, James, that's amazing. James, I'm all ears. Nice one, James. Let us know when you're up and running, and we'll all subscribe. Thank you, Patricio, for the subscription. Good evening, MSK. I will, Craig. I'll have to order a DJI pocket camera this week. Then I can hopefully start in a few weeks. Yeah, I think they're quite good. I've watched the boxing yesterday. Tickets, food, and drinks were paid for by eToro. It was epic. Live at the O2 Arena. That's actually amazing, MSK. Congratulations to you. You must be investing a lot for them to do that for you. I'm investing, want to buy under $1 as much as I can, and then wait until the commercial flights start in a couple years. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You know what areas you want to buy, and you know what needs to happen for it to go higher. MSK, that's good. Did you have a good time? Who won? Nice, MSK. Good night out. The old dog just saw a won. It was awesome. Nice one, MSK. How did you get them perks? Was it all eat? Was it all you can eat and drink as well? Hi everyone. That pull up over $1 was based on good news, and there was no further catalyst. That's good work, MSK. I'm happy you had a good time. I bet it was good atmosphere seeing it live. I've only seen boxing on TV. Yes, unlimited food and drink. I'm pretty sure I ran up £100 bill. Lol, and eToro provides a premium service for platinum and above clients. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Craig. Stephen, welcome in. Are you still holding MTDR? Should we have a quick look at it for you? MSK, I only ever got to silver badge on eToro. Thank you, Sensei, says Vaz. Thank you, Vaz, for your support. Sorry that wasn't too much I could say about it. I wish there was a perfect trade for it, but it was one of those tricky stocks which is in a big downtrend. Um, MSK, I have an account manager that calls me whenever there's an exclusive event sponsored by eToro and offers free VIP tickets. It's an awesome perk. Nice. MSK Unlimited Food and Drink. Sounds great. Good evening, Sensei and Martyn. Good evening, Stephen. Happy to sub to Channel Bro, says MSK. Thanks, MSK. I will let everyone know when I get it up and running. On vacation again. Wildmark Reunion, Florida. Who goes on vacation more, me or Stephen Lewandowski? I think it's Stephen. He lives on the road. He's always on vacation. That's the great thing about America. You can just the whole country can go on the different vacations. You don't have to ever leave. If you want to go to the north of England, it'll take you about from the south to Scotland. It probably takes you about 10 hours. So from one side of America to the other side, it probably takes you about 5 days. So there's a lot you can do in America. Would have to sort of fly to Europe, for example. If we had the roads that America has from here to Scotland, would only probably take about 4 hours or less. Okay, let's continue with the S&P 500, and let's have a look. Is that poll still up and running? Where's the poll? Uh, Let me see if I find it. If I go back, no. Um, let's see if we can find the poll. No, I can't see it. Have a nice vacation, Stephen. Yes, enjoy your vacation, Stephen. Let's get back to the S&P 500. So, as I was saying, downtrend, bear market, bottoming out structure, upwards, upwards trend. Remember, Martyn called it back in I think December or something. I called it in more like March of 2023, the bull market. Um, oh, I'm not showing you the chart. There it is. Um, I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, so that was the bottoming out structure. Then we had the parallel channel to the upside, bull market. You want to see us stay within this parallel channel or deviate slightly. When you deviate to the downside, great buying opportunity. For example, back here when you were at the bottom of the parallel channel was a great buying opportunity. Then when you deviate even lower, an amazing buying opportunity as long as it's still in this bull market, which obviously we were, all the way down to 4,100. Then he went straight up to the top of the parallel channel around 5,100, where it's more overbought within the structure. You went then outside of it, just like you deviated to the downside, you deviated to the upside, and then you came back down, tested the heart line. Nice average area to be buying. Went back up to the upside of the parallel channel, overbought, went slightly down, and then recently we've had our sort of biggest deviation to the upside. This was our biggest deviation to the downside. Again, an area I wouldn't want to buy at 5,600 or anywhere above the parallel channel, in my opinion. And now you've tested the parallel channel and you're coming back up. So the question is, are we going to stay in a steady rise up and deviate back into the parallel channel? Are we going to maybe even test the lower part of this parallel channel closer to around 5,000? If we go to the VU, and maybe we can draw the parallel channel there. I think a lot people are more familiar with the VU because of the channel. So let's see if we can draw the same sort of chart. Where's the parallel channel function? Um, where is it gone? Oh, it should be him. Oh, here we go. Parallel channel. Is it something like that? No, it's more like this. No. So, how is it so different? Sorry. No, it's more like trying to see what. It is slightly different, the chart. Let me see. 1 day. Getting confused because it's such a long-term trend. Let me see. Trading view. Let's bring up both charts side by side. More like I think the view is very different in chart wise to the S&P 500. Wonder why that is. Do I have them on different settings? So that low over there, I'm just trying to see why they're so different. That low over there in October was the same as the low in May. October, May, yeah, right, similar. Oh, okay. I think that's why. My angle is completely off, that's why. These are the connecting dots. So I'm just trying to recreate the chart. I think it's something like that, it must be. Yeah, pretty much the same, sorry. I was just not, I don't know why I didn't just look at it as a chart basis rather trying to compare charts, but as you can see, bottom, bottom, top, top, top. Yeah, so in terms of price on the VU, currently at around 500. Are we thinking that it's going to come back into the parallel channel and come to maybe the heart line and go all the way back down to 482? Worst case, go back down to the bottom of the parallel channel, still a bullish phase, still higher loads, and come down to around 465. Actually, what would be more bullish is coming down to 482. You don't want it to go down that low. Or we think it's going to come back into the parallel channel and come into 482? Or is the whole dynamic changing and you're going to bounce off this upper trend line and turn more parabolic on the S&P 500, where you no longer come back in the in this strong uptrend, and instead of going into a nice steady uptrend, you actually start going more parabolic, where you don't come back in this trend line and you start going up faster and faster, and you don't hold a um, steady trend to the upside. Remember, this uptrend right now is quite steep, but not as steep as the previous uptrend. I think there's a way you can calculate the steepness of this uptrend. If I go on to, there should be an angle. I've seen it before. Where's the angle? Trend angle. So this trend angle, you see this bull market just after 2020. I mean, I'm not going to do straight from the V shape, but when it went into the trend line, the angle was about 41 degrees to the upside. So if I zoom in for you, I'm not doing it from um, the V-shaped recovery. Once it was out the V-shaped recovery, the angle to the upside, keep this angles the same, was about, let's go into a weekly, no, a daily's fine. That was the parallel channel up for the one straight out of COVID. The angle is 41. The angle for this uptrend has been more like 33. So what I'm trying to say is, are we changing angle? Are we going more parabolic? Are we going at a steeper angle now? Normally when you're in these trends, your angle sort of stays the same. Remember the 2018, you sort of had an angle of 26. These angles to the upside are pretty steep. Are we thinking that we're going to go into a different era of a higher angle trend line where well, that's what I meant by parabolic, not straight to the upside, but just a steeper angle? I don't think so. I think this angle is a pretty steady growth for where we are at, especially with the geopolitical issues and elections coming up. I can't see a new trend, a new parallel channel with a higher trend line. I think the stock market might cool off slightly. It doesn't mean it's going to crash. I think it's going to come down back into this parallel channel, maybe come to 480 and then steadily grow higher. But who am I to say? I can't predict the future. The charts are just saying it's bullish. The charts are saying there's lower, higher lows. The charts were saying it's a bit overbought, but the trend is still to the upside. It's just putting a new high. It was a bit overbought within the parallel channel. The charts are saying not the best time to buy. Now they're in a better place to buy. Where we are right now at $500, there's a bit of support. You're back. You're not terribly overbought. The RSI has come back down. Plenty of room to go to the upside. The trend is still to the upside. It's already cooled off. So it's very, very tricky with the S&P 500 right now. Let's go back to the S&P chart where we've got more data. Very, very tricky. You are at support for the top of the parallel channel. I'm just trying to make up my mind on what's happening with the S&P 500. We already said, I mean, last week we were up here. We were in an area where we were still overbought. The week before we were definitely in an area where we were severely overbought. Now we're not in an area where we're very overbought. The RSI has completely called off. Remember the RSI was overbought at that position when with that high. Right now we're not overbought. The RSI has come down. We're in a strong uptrend. I think I wouldn't be buying anymore, but it's still looking strong. There's no doubt about that. This chart looks strong. The S&P is looking good. The market is looking fine. The RSI is not overbought anymore. You just have to be wary. If you've made a lot of profits, why not sell some in case things do change? Things can change very quickly if a war breaks out or if there's not anything that can bring the markets down. You always want to have cash sitting on the side, but it's looking strong. There's no doubt about it. It's looking strong. I keep rambling because I'm just trying to weigh up the charts and the strength of the market right now. It is very strong. Um, the only thing that can go against all of this is the fact that interest rates have been high for so long. Interest rates have been high for so long. It doesn't look like they're cutting rates. You go onto the CME Fed tool, 2 days time, there's a 95% chance that there won't be a rate cut. There's a 4.7% chance that there will be a rate cut. Is it too late? This is about when they start cutting rates at this moment in time, or maybe in 2 months' time. That's when businesses are going to be feeling the interest rates the most. That's when, just before rate cuts happen, that's the longest period of time where interest rates have been the highest. So this is about the time where companies feel the effects of the interest rates the most. So that's the only thing to be wary of. There can always be a crash at any time. We are at basically all-time highs on the S&P 500. So if you don't have cash on the side, then I'd be careful. Yeah, if you've made lots of money, then have some cash on the side. Nothing wrong with cash on the side, especially when you're at all-time highs. But if you have a regular income and you're investing, then you're fine. Then the market's continuing going up to the upside. You've got your own cash pot. You're putting into that rather than investing, and you're putting some into the markets when you can. As long as you've got money on the side, I don't see any problem with the market right now. It's in a nice uptrend. There's no real reason to doubt that this uptrend won't continue to the upside. Just keep an eye on the macroeconomics. If the trend starts changing, then that's something completely different. But we're covering this every week, and right now it's looking strong. So that was me trying to navigate the S&P 500. It's one of the hardest stocks to read. It's right now anyway, because it's at basically all-time highs, because it's got 500 stocks within it, and because everything affects it. So look at that though. One more thing I want to show you: Fibonacci from the high to the low. The target of this whole trend, this whole trade from the highs of 2021 to the lows of that recession in 2022. The target on the Fibonacci was $5,652, which is what we touched on, which is what it's come down to. So it was a target, and there was resistance there. So make your own minds up about the S&P 500, but remember we are at all-time highs. and be careful. That was probably one of my worst analyses I've done, but because I kept rambling. But let's go back to your comments. Sensei, I'm bullish on crypto for the future, but I think there could be a bit more of a pullback first. I'm interested in the fact the UK can fit inside the state of Texas almost 3 times over. It's crazy how big the US is. James, how you little mining business going? Yes, I'm still holding MTT only up $3.50. 3,036 shares bought at $58. Shares of crude dropped a lot last week. Oh, $3.50. Only up $3.50. Well, $3.50 times 3,000 shares is a nice few holidays. Vaz, my miner is running, but it's just solo mining, so I either get all or nothing. I have not hit a block yet. I'm looking to get another miner called Avalon Nano Miner. They look really good. Well, if it does hit, James, how much is it these days? Uh, at least a few thousand. Hi, all great information, Sensei. Thanks. Thank you, Zach8 for tuning in. You got me on the heater, James 007. I saw a few analysts and reviews, and it just doesn't add up. The power consumption, potential yield. What's that about, Vaz? The nano miners? I'd rather invest that money into a 3D printer or a laser engraver and grow my business, but I'd like to see the avian one log. I don't think it would use much power at all. Um, I don't think the solar miner uses that much power at all. I'd rather MSK to the chopper, get to the chopper. That Avalon Nano miners are really good too. Have a look at the reviews, and I think you'll like them. They are like mini heaters, are perfect for winter use. So interesting. I would never invest too much in miners. I just wanted a few to try and mess around with. I will have a look. Cheers, Vaz. Vaz to do 3D printing. Prototyping, design, replicate, and small batch production. Just a small after project, which will hopefully grow into something big in a couple of years. I'd love to get into metal 3D printing, but in the region of tens of thousands. That's interesting. I've got someone very close to me that does a lot of 3D printing as well. If you need filament for not metal filament, if you need normal filament for a great price, boxes of 10, I think. What's it called? What's the brand called? Sun, eSun, eSun, eSun PLA Plus, or anything like that. Let me know, and can send that out to you. I'm planning to start a YouTube channel by the end of year 2. I'll let you know. Amazing, Vaz. Yes, let us all know, Vaz, and everyone will subscribe. That sounds like a great idea. I'm currently in the middle of moving my workshop, so it'll probably be another month before I settle down again. Cool, Vaz. I'd like to learn about 3D printing. Hi, RW is here. Hello, RW. Welcome. No, Vaz, you and Nav. I will take a look. Okay, amazing. Wow. Lots of people talking, lots of people starting YouTube channels. It's great to see. I love it. Let's continue with the stocks. Quickly have a look at the crypto. No videos today, but we're just focusing on the members. Maybe I do some videos for you this week. J&J, very, very nice. Remember support 143, broke the next support resistance. That's at 160 now. We're at resistance. Be careful on J&J. You break 162, and then your next level is 175. But it's looking very good. Slightly overbought on the RSI. Apple selling off. Be careful with Apple. It can come all the way back down to $200. That's where I assume it will come down to. McDonald's below trend. Next buyers on McDonald's will be around 230. Robin Hood can come all the way down to $16 or $33. Middle of no man's land. See how it reacts at $20. You don't want, if it drops below $20, it's going to $16. If it continues above $20, tests it, it can go back up to $33. Google, wow, that's coming down quickly. That will go back down to probably its previous all-time highs. Look out for about $153. Tesla, that's come back down $208. Remember, during the earnings, I had my arrows to the downside. It went all the way to 2000. It was perfect actually. Trying to bottom out around that $208, $214 level. Rivian, beautiful trades at about $10. Now it's in the middle of two levels. I wouldn't be buying it now. Not much of a trade there. Netflix, be careful. No trade there. NKLA, no trade there. That must have had a reverse stock split. FFIE, not even looking at that. Wrap Technologies, again, middle of no man's land. Lucid, Mullen. Quick look at some crypto. Coming up to the end of the show now. Need to finish on time today. XRP still above support, 77 cents next, maybe. That's looking good. Bitcoin having a great time. As soon as we break out of this main area between 71 and 74 dollars, it might seem like 85k is next. Let's have a quick look at the Fibonacci and see what that says. 86,000. Looking forward to that. Hopefully by the end of the year. Pepe, ADA, a lot of these altcoins are being crushed against Bitcoin. What's more important to look at is Bitcoin versus Bitcoin dominance, which is probably heading higher. Look at that, as
Vaz
predicted.
donated £1.99 through a super chat. Talking of 3D printing, could you have a look at VLD?
Yes, of course, Vaz. So Bitcoin dominance quickly with the crypto. Finish that, and we end on Vaz's super chat. Remember this Wyckoff accumulation uptrend. I always says Bitcoin is going to be king until it gets to that point of maybe 100,000, 86,000, and then your coins start taking some on some of that money that's flowing in. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is trying to put in the highs of this whole cycle at 56%. Amazing to see. Quick look at Ethereum. All-time highs, 4,700 is the next target, or support at 2,500. VLD for Vaz. Thank you, Vaz, again for your support. What's happened? Did VLD have some sort of reverse split? Because our charts no longer make sense. Clear, remove drawings. Must have had a split and all our work has gone. Mas, remember, a lot of your stocks have this major downtrend. More likely than not, that the downtrend will continue on at least some of them. So I'd be very, very careful. But again, that's where the most value is on these stocks that have been coming down. But I've just seen a lot of the stocks you hold seems like the trend is badly to the downside, and the market cap is very, very low. This is $25 million market cap. Very, very volatile, very hard to predict. But anyway, broken the trend, looking good. You're trying to bottom out around that 272. You don't want to break below that. Yeah, your next 274. So 374 is where this should end up. Stop loss right below the all-time lows, maybe at 267, and you take profit at 374. Broken out the trend line to the downside. You want to break 329. Once you break 374, it can accelerate very, very quickly to the upside. You don't have much in your way, and then you can be doubling your money in no time. 662 would be next once you confirm you've broken out this structure. Break 374. It looks like 662 is next. RW, you gave me a lot of suggestions, but unfortunately we don't have time. And we've already covered Pfizer, J&J. Let's have a quick look at. We've done Bitcoin quickly. Let's look at American Express because I haven't looked at that for a while. And then let's finish. American Express, okay, all-time highs. Great. Not much to be said about that. That looks like it's an amazing trend to the upside. So it looks like we've come to the end of the show. Thank you all for tuning in. If you can hit the like button on your way out, that would be highly appreciated. We have 30 people watching, only 20 likes, so please do hit that like button. Oh no, it's going to be the first stream where we have more viewers than likes. I'm going to be selling Bitcoin just in 100,000 because I think a lot of people will sell at 100k. Yeah, I think people will sell much lower than 100k. I think 85k would be the first area to take profit. Wait for it to come back down, and then once it gets the next time up, there might be a lot of resistance at 100k, but if a lot of people are selling there, then it can just short squeeze at 100k and suddenly be at 120k before you know it. Be careful. If a lot of people are going to sell at 100k, they might sell a bit before. Next time it actually goes to 100k, instead of those people that sell will regret it because it's going to short squeeze at 100k, or there'll be a lot of people, a lot of margin calls. There might not be a specific short squeeze, but there might be a lot of short set up at 100k. There might be a lot of people in shorting of margin, for example, and then they would have to buy back up their shares and go back up to go past 100k. So I'd be careful with that tactic. I understand why, but you might end up buying back higher, which would be crazy, spending more than 100k on a Bitcoin. Sensei, if the crypto pulls back a bit more, I'm going to get back into Crow. I'm still bullish for Crow on the next crypto run. Yep, that sounds like a good idea. Crow, crypto.com will be all over any advertisement, any stadium. So in the height of the bull run, when Bitcoin is high and the money starts flowing into altcoins, that makes a lot of sense. I've also got this software that I pay thousands of pounds for a year that we don't really use because I can't really show it. It's data I look at behind the scenes. I can't just show all of it because it's a paid subscription, so you can only use fair use. So sometimes can show charts. I'll remember to show you some more charts from this. This is core inflation, for example, very simple chart coming down. But for crypto, for example, there's risk levels and stuff like that, which is very nice. But there's simpler charts, which is fine to show. For example, inflation year on year, recession indicators, SARM recession indicator, that's trending up, so that's getting a bit worrying, but we're not in recession territory yet. CPI, housing prices, loans, sales, production industry. There's so much on this software. Interest rates, monetary data, how much if they're increasing spending on M2 supply is trending back up. That's why the S&P is going up. M1 supply is finally trending back up. They're printing money again. Debt to GDP ratio is heading back up. GDP, heading nicely up actually. So yeah, there's lots of things. So don't worry, I do look at a lot of this data behind the scenes and I try and share it with you. Thank you, Sensei. VLD RSI at 1.135, but they're looking financially neutral by the end of next year. Let's see the next earnings. Yes. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to be here with you again on this Sunday evening. It's coming up to 10:10 UK time. I hope you all have a nice afternoon and evening. See how many likes we've got in the end. 15 watching. That's good. The viewers went down, so we can keep our streak. 18 watching, 23 likes. We've done it. We've done it. I don't want to end with 30 people watching and 20 likes. We've done 18 people watching and 23 likes. More likes than viewers. I love it. Thank you all for tuning in. I love your support. It's great to come here every Sunday and be able to speak to the family. But until next time, feel free to message me on Discord, message me on YouTube, comment under the video if there's anything specific or urgent you want me to have a look at. Enjoy your steak dinner, Sensei. I will. I think it's pizza actually. Until next time, Thank you, James. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Oh wait, I need to wait for the beats. Next time. Thank you for the live show, Sensei. It's much appreciated. No worries at all. Is there anything else we can look at until the beat comes? Not yet. Just having a look at the SPCE. Sorry, let's have a quick look at that SPCE. The reason I said it's looking good is this massive trend to the downside. You see the trend to the downside. Let me turn the music down a little bit. The trend to the downside has been non-stop, and we finally seem to be bottoming out. The RSI is very low, but seem to try to break out the trend. So let's see if we can try and make it back up to $14. A little bit of a bottoming out structure. This trend line is nearly broken. That candle looks very bullish. It looks like there's follow through coming this week. So I'll keep an eye on SPC, and hopefully we might get back up to maybe $12. MCD in the morning, 30 minutes early. Please do tune into Martyn tomorrow. We're going 30 minutes early for the, I think that's McDonald's earnings, isn't it? MCD, let me see, MCD. McDonald's earnings tomorrow, 30 minutes early. McDonald's, remember, I'm looking at to see 230, 225 limit orders set up there in case it's a bad earnings. That's a buy area between 220 and 232. I had pepperoni and pizza pineapple, it was delicious. Great, James. Thanks, Sensei, says James. Until next time. It says Stephen. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.